Imagine this, Mr. Beast, the YouTube king of crazy stunts and giving away cash like it's confetti, has decided to take a detour from his usual antics. Instead of just building 100 homes and giving them away, he bought an abandoned warehouse. Yes, you heard that right, he's transforming it into a mixed-use wonderland where e-commerce meets content creation and retail. It's like if Willy Wonka had a baby with Amazon. Now, picture this facility, part fulfillment center, part YouTube studio, and part shopping spree. It's the ultimate playground for influencers and shoppers alike. Who needs a boring office when you can film a viral video while packing boxes for your online store? Talk about multitasking. But wait, there's more. This trend of industrial mixed-use developments is taking over real estate. Think of it as a buffet where every tenant gets a slice of the pie. Retailers, tech startups, and even your grandma's knitting club can all coexist under one roof. It's urban revitalization with a side of job creation. So, if you're looking to invest, hop on this train before it leaves the station. After all, you wouldn't want to live in a world where you can shop, work, and film your next viral hit all in one place. Understanding lease agreements is crucial for both landlords and tenants in commercial real estate. The types of leases can significantly impact financial responsibilities and operational control. Here's an overview of the most common lease types: triple net lease, NNN, double net lease, NN, absolute net lease, and net lease. Types of lease agreements. 1. Triple net lease, NNN. In a triple net lease, the tenant assumes responsibility for 3 primary expenses: property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. This type of lease is popular for commercial properties because it allows landlords to minimize their financial obligations. While the tenant covers these costs directly, the landlord may initially pay some expenses, with the expectation of reimbursement by the tenant by the end of the fiscal year. 2. Double net lease, NN. A double net lease requires the tenant to cover 2 of the 3 main expenses: property taxes and insurance premiums. The landlord remains responsible for structural maintenance and repairs. This arrangement typically results in lower base rent compared to a triple net lease, as the tenant takes on more financial responsibility. 3. Absolute net lease. An absolute net lease, often abbreviated as ABS-NN, is one of the strictest forms of leasing. In this agreement, the tenant is responsible for all costs associated with the property, including major repairs and structural maintenance, effectively making it similar to ownership without actual title transfer. This type of lease is attractive for investors seeking passive income with minimal landlord involvement. 135. 4. Net lease. A net lease generally refers to any lease where the tenant pays a portion of operating expenses alongside base rent. This term can encompass various arrangements, including single net leases, where tenants pay property taxes only, and double net leases. Each type of lease serves different investment strategies and risk tolerances for landlords and tenants. Understanding these distinctions can help parties negotiate terms that align with their financial goals and operational needs. The explanation of the logic regarding lease-up costs and associated financial assumptions involves several key components that are essential for real estate financial modeling, particularly in single-tenant industrial properties. Lease-up costs. Definition and importance. Lease-up costs refer to fixed monthly expenses incurred during the leasing phase of a property, which have specific start and end dates. These costs can include marketing, legal fees, and administrative expenses necessary to attract tenants. Unlike other operating expenses that continue until the end of the forecast period, lease-up costs are temporary and cease once the property reaches stabilization, typically around 90% occupancy. Operating expenses. Classification of expenses. Operating expenses in real estate are ongoing costs required to maintain a property. They typically include fixed costs, such as property taxes and insurance, which remain constant regardless of occupancy. Variable costs. These fluctuate based on occupancy levels, like utilities and maintenance services. The distinction is crucial as it affects how expenses are allocated among tenants. Vacancy loss consideration in single-tenant industrial properties. While vacancy rates may be low, it is prudent to account for potential vacancy loss in rental income assumptions. This loss can be expressed as a percentage of maximum rent and serves as a reserve to mitigate periods without tenants. Advanced assumptions upon exit. Tax implications. The model incorporates advanced assumptions regarding exit strategies, including depreciation recapture basis. This refers to the taxation on gains from the sale of depreciated assets. Capital gains basis, the profit from selling an asset compared to its purchase price. Operating income basis. This reflects income generated from property operations before taxes. Users can adjust tax rates within the model, including the option to set taxes at 0% if they do not apply at the project level. Cash flow conventions. Monthly versus annual cash flow. The financial model allows for two cash flow conventions. Annual cash flow convention assumes that initial equity is invested up front and distributed annually. Monthly cash flow convention adjusts for negative cash flow months by requiring additional cash contributions, while positive cash flow months allow for distributions. This method converts annual rates, like IRR hurdles or preferred returns, into monthly rates, providing a more granular view of cash flow management. Conclusion. This structured approach to lease-up costs and operating expenses ensures that real estate investors can effectively manage their property's financial performance. By incorporating assumptions about lease-up costs, vacancy losses, tax implications, and cash flow conventions, investors can create a robust financial model that anticipates potential challenges and optimizes returns throughout the investment lifecycle. To effectively analyze rental income assumptions, several key factors must be considered. Below is a detailed explanation of each assumption and its significance in evaluating rental property performance. Rental income assumptions. 1. Start month of rent. This refers to the month when the rental income begins. It is crucial for cash flow projections, as it determines when you can expect to start receiving income from the property. For instance, if the lease starts in June, your income calculations should begin from that month. 2. Rentable square footage, square feet. The total area of the property that can be rented out is measured in square feet. This figure is essential for calculating potential rental income, as it directly influences how much rent can be charged. A larger rentable area typically allows for higher total rent, assuming the price per square foot remains constant. 3. Rent per square foot per year, per month. This metric indicates how much rent is charged for each square foot of space, either annually or monthly. It is a critical factor in determining total rental income. Annual rent per square ft, useful for long-term projections and comparisons with market rates. Monthly rent per square ft, important for short-term cash flow analysis. 4. Annual rent increase. This assumption accounts for expected increases in rent over time, often based on market trends or inflation rates. A common practice is to estimate a percentage increase annually, for example, 3% per year. This helps landlords project future income and assess long-term profitability. 5. Starting monthly rent. This is the initial amount charged to tenants each month. It serves as the baseline for all future calculations regarding income and increases. Setting this amount accurately is vital to ensure competitiveness in the market while covering costs. 6. Starting annual rent. Similar to starting monthly rent, this figure represents the total rent collected over a year based on the starting monthly rate multiplied by 12 months. This figure is essential for assessing overall financial viability and comparing it against annual expenses. 7. Average vacancy loss reserve. This reserve accounts for periods when the property may be unoccupied due to tenant turnover or other factors. It is typically expressed as a percentage of gross rental income, for example, 5 to 10%. This assumption helps in adjusting projected income to reflect potential losses during vacancies, ensuring more accurate cash flow assessments. 8. Accounts for periods of turnover, tenant changes. This aspect emphasizes the importance of considering costs associated with tenant turnover, such as marketing expenses, repairs, and lost rent during vacancy periods. Planning for these costs helps maintain financial stability and prepares landlords for potential cash flow disruptions. 9. Other monthly ancillary income. In addition to primary rental income, landlords may receive additional income from services such as parking fees, laundry facilities, or pet fees. Including these sources in financial projections can significantly enhance overall profitability. Summary. Understanding these rental income assumptions allows property investors to create more accurate financial models and forecasts. By carefully considering each factor ranging from starting rents to vacancy reserves, landlords can better navigate the complexities of real estate investment and optimize their returns over time. The template features described encompass a comprehensive financial modeling framework, particularly suited for real estate or investment projects. Here's a breakdown of each key component: monthly, annual pro forma and financial statements. Pro forma financials. This includes monthly and annual projections that lead to net operating income, NOI, and cash flow analysis. Pro forma statements help in assessing the future profitability of a project by estimating revenues and expenses based on various assumptions. 3-statement model integration. The model integrates the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement, providing a holistic view of financial performance. Changes in one statement automatically reflect in the others, ensuring accuracy and consistency in forecasting. Long-term planning. 15-year hold period. The template accommodates planning for investments held over a long duration, allowing for detailed forecasting of financial performance over time. Dynamic cost section. Initial cost flexibility. The model includes a dynamic section for initial costs, which can be structured as either upfront payments or spread over time. This flexibility is crucial for accurately reflecting purchase or development costs. Financing options. Debt and equity structures. It offers various financing options, including debt options for initial construction loans, with interest accruing or not, and standard loans with 2 refinancing, RFI, opportunities. Equity configurations can include single operator structures or limited partnership, LP, general partnership, GP, setups. Refinancing options. RFI conditions. The refinancing options are contingent upon the capitalization rate, cap rate, and loan-to-value, LTV, percentage at the time of refinancing, allowing for strategic financial planning based on market conditions. Cash flow waterfall structures. 4 cash flow waterfall options. The model allows for different cash flow distribution methods, including IRR hurdles, internal rate of return thresholds that must be met before distributions. Preferred returns, ensuring certain investors receive returns before others. Both monthly and annual cash flow conventions can be utilized to match investor preferences. Financial analysis metrics. Performance metrics. The template supports various financial analyses such as IRR, internal rate of return, measures the profitability of potential investments. NPV, net present value, assesses the value of future cash flows in today's terms. DCF, discounted cash flow, analysis, evaluates investment opportunities based on expected future cash flows. Equity multiple, provides insight into the total return on equity invested. Scenario analysis. Assumption toggling, users can easily adjust assumptions to conduct scenario analyses. This feature allows stakeholders to explore different outcomes based on varying inputs, enhancing decision-making capabilities. This comprehensive template is designed to facilitate detailed financial planning and analysis, making it an invaluable tool for investors and financial analysts in real estate and other investment sectors.